Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, deep into the rabbit hole. We're like-minded me. Welcome to the rabbit hole, the truth we see. There's lizard people everywhere, the conspiracies be.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, uninvited from the rabbit hole. The weak-minded cheat for the open-minded people, not the little but the weak. Welcome to the rabbit hole. You sure you wanna be?
We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
And for future generations.
Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for
a new world order.
Treasure Island. They never come back.
Yes, good evening, everybody. It's Friday night. It's back, and it's time to go deep down the rabbit hole. How's everybody doing? We're back with my ramblers, my favorite ramblers. We got Nikos, we got Eugene, and we got Johnny Boy, Teflon John, as he is known in certain parts around the world. Nothing sticks to that man. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, first and foremost, may I apologize profusely for this week's no-show. We owe you a stream. We do. Tuesday night, we had to watch the Bozos at Tottenham do somewhat Bozo-esque things. They didn't get beaten, but that meant we had to shift the show to Wednesday. And then Wednesday, I couldn't do any content at all, unfortunately. I was absolutely slammed with life stuff. So we had to pass onto tonight's show. We will catch up. We owe you a show. We know we owe you a show. I hope everybody is happy and healthy doing the things they love. Please do, as you take your shoes off, do the admin things that you know what you got to do, guys. Smash the granny, smash the nanny, and smash the granddaddy out of that like button as we go deep down some mud flood rabbit holes this evening. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. You know the drill. Notification bell button should be squeezed. And, of course, keep your comments coming thick and fast. By the way, there's a new feature on YouTube. And it is where you can shift from a live stream into a members-only show seamlessly. So the stream will end for non-members, and then we'll carry on as like a new stream that will be separate in the kind of archives of the channel afterwards for the members. And what we're going to try to do to make sure that we're grateful of your membership, we're going to try and do like an extra half an hour show at the end of every show. We're going to end the stream at one point. We're still going to go for like an hour and 45 or whatever, 2 hours or something like that for the normal peeps. And there's no pressure to get memberships, but just as a way to say thank you to everyone that's joining us on this journey of discovery. We're going to try and throw an extra half an hour on to the end of every stream. So it should be seamless for you, but it is a new feature that I haven't tried before, so it might end up being a complete donut job. I might end up cutting the stream when I try to set it up midstream, and if we do, we apologize. Anyway, that's the latest. Tonight, we are talking about Tartaria. We are talking about mud floods. We are talking about the Mandela effect. I've already had these two donuts down here going at each other around what is a fact and what isn't a fact on the Mandela effect. It's been lively. Johnny's shooting the wrong way though. Johnny, you got to shoot that way, mate. You're shooting the wrong direction. Unbelievable stuff. Let's find out how the Ramblers are. Nikos, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Good, my friend. Good. Shame we had to miss the show the other night. I was looking forward to doing something in the week, but life's, and let's get back onto it. Let's get some truth out there. This one is a particularly favourite of mine, the old Tartaria Muffler one. So I'm really excited to get into this one with everybody and see what everyone's thoughts and two pences are. Hope everyone else has had a good week, and the weekend's upon us. So blessings to everybody.
Good to see you, Nikos, mate. Good to see you. Eugene, New Gene, Bro Gene, how are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Good, man. I'm doing good. Happy to be here as always. Got my Wikipedia up, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, we're trusting Wikipedia today, are we?
Oh, of course, of course. I got,
I had another blazing row with Grok a couple of nights ago.
Oh.
I wasn't done. I said to you guys before, I had a major argument with Grok about the distance of the stars and how the kind of inverse law, like double the distance half the time sort of thing. So I went back in for another round with Grok, and he still came out saying that I was wrong, and I ended up calling him a fucking idiot. He sort of still brushed it off, like, okay, chill out, Sean. We can talk about this tomorrow if you want. But he wasn't having it. He wasn't having it that I was right and he's wrong. And I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, John, how are you, my man? Good to see you, buddy. You okay?
Good, thanks, Sean. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I've had a little nap. So I'm lively, After a long day of streaming, I go and have a little nap about 6 o'clock, and then I wake up and go, right, let's go one more round. Big up to everybody. We're going to get going straight away. And listen, I'm not an expert on the Tartaria thing. I'm fairly new to it. So I'm going to let the other guys that are more familiar talk, and we'll ping it around. But before we do, we've got a couple of super chats straight out of the bat, and we love to see it. Thank you so much. Futures Bright, Futures Lillywhite has become a new member of the channel. Big up to you, buddy. Thank you so much for your support. Very, very cool, man. Like I say, we're going to try at the end of the show. We're going to try and drop into the new member show thing, and hopefully that will be seamless for those that are part of the membership crew. Thank you so much indeed. And James _119 has also put in a super sticker train. Have we done the super sticker train on this channel? I think we have. No, I can't do it. I haven't got the choo choo train noise. I haven't got it on this setting. So I'm just going to say choo choo to you, James. Choo choo to you. Thank you very much indeed. And Chop Cheese 30, big up to you, Choppy. I haven't seen you for a while. He says, Nikos, what a bug out. New Gene, what a wizard. Let's effing go. What a bug out. What does that mean? New Gene, what a wizard. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. Do you guys know what it means?
I don't even know why. What did I do? What a bug out. What did I do?
I know. I've no idea.
We'll take it.
I don't know if it was a compliment. It might be a compliment. This is the man that smells farts all day long. Every super chat he puts in says, "Oh, if I could bottle such and such into a fart, I'd hoover it up." Or I don't know. Very strange.
Everyone seems nice. We'll take it as a compliment. Everyone seems nice.
Everyone's nice in this chat. Big up to you, Chop. And Destiny, big up to you, Desto. He's put in a super sticker, sorry. Choo choo to you, Destiny. Thank you very much indeed, my man. Very cool. We're one step further to Antarctica, one step closer to Antarctica, guys. Come on. Big up to you, Desto. Right, come on then, Nikos. Do you want to break us into this Tartaria thing? Do you want to talk about it for us? Talk to me.
I mean, where do you start? I mean, you go back to why there would be a civilization that's not taught to us in our history classes. It's not on a map. This country was north of Russia and was known as Tartaria. It was one of the big ancient civilizations that we're just not taught about or told about. But they have a lot of evidence that's all around the world proving they were here. And that's what we're going to cover tonight in this show. There's buildings, architecture everywhere. It's fascinated me for years. It's such an amazing subject. It's a very detailed subject as well, because it doesn't blame anybody, but there's obviously reasons why maybe this empire was taken out, like all the other ones we are taught about, like the Roman empires, and why these civilizations come to an end. But this one doesn't have an explanation, and I always wondered why. But yeah, we'll get into it.
Should we start with a video to get us going then?
Sure.
And we can work from there. We can riff it off from there, because essentially the myth is, the story goes that somewhere in the 17th and 18th century that there was an event or a purposeful destruction of historical a population of people that were called Tartarians, and the Tartarian Empire essentially was like bigger than the British Empire, or like different to the British Empire, but it covered almost as much land. And then there was loads of mud that essentially covered up some of these buildings. And I've got like 12 or 15 videos here. We'll pop into them, and then we'll have a quick look. We've even got Tucker Carlson, by the way, who says that that there was like civilizations in Detroit 10,000 years ago and stuff. So when Tucker speaks, we give him. Listen, Eugene's immediately changed his eye focus. He's less suspicious now that Tucker.
No.
Right?
I have a
Tartaria.
question actually to level set, just so that we understand. So when we talk about Tartaria, the premise is that it wasn't a worldwide civilization, it was just in Russia, but then everywhere else in the world there were similar advanced civilizations before that disappeared, right? Is that
I think
what we're saying?
it obviously as a country, it was originally a big empire, but I think what we would refer to as like the Roman Empire or the British Empire, it was everywhere, all over the world. So I
Yeah,
don't
I think
know if
it's expanded into it's definitely across parts of Europe and into Asia as well. I think I've got some maps here, some maps on the video that will talk about it. Let's have a little look at the first video, shall we? See where we go with it.
Did you know that the Great Wall of China is actually the
Okay, that's not the one. Come back to that later on. How about this one here then?
Let's go in. The last major reset occurred between the mid 1700s and late 1800s, roughly 250 to 150 years ago. This reset wasn't just war or disease. It was a global memory wipe, infrastructure repopulation, and narrative overwrite. They used mud floods, fires, engineered natural disasters, and selective rewriting of history to wipe Tartaria and erase what came before. Now here's the strange part. The Capitol buildings, World's Fair structures, old world cathedrals, domed geometries, these were already here. We didn't build them, we inherited them. Photos from the 1800s show cities fully built, yet nearly empty. No scaffolding, no construction, just there. And the stories, always the same, built in a few years, then burned down. Now enter the orphan trains and Cabbage Patch Kids. Between 1854 and 1929, over 200,000 children were shipped across the U.S. by train. No parents, no background, just orphans. But where did all the orphans come from? They were reset survivors, children with no memory, no lineage, placed into repopulated cities to seed a new narrative. Why? Because adults remember. Children can be programmed. Cabbage Patch Kids, the dolls said to be grown in the Cabbage Patch, are symbolic disclosure. Born from the earth, no parents. Just like the orphan trains, the name is not innocent, it's encoded truth. The U.S. wasn't founded and built from scratch. It was inherited, cleansed, and rebranded. The buildings were Tartarian. The reset was intentional. And now the memory is coming back. Because people like you are asking the right questions.
Wait, so Tartarian was also in North America? Or
yeah, actually some of the
about what that actually is.
They actually have some fascinating examples in America. We'll come across one later on, which will be the Chicago 1893 World Fair. But some examples I can give you is like the Iowa State Capitol in Omaha, the Church of Mary Magdalene. They've done like digging down from the original structures, and the original excavation photos show they were clearing mud and sediment away from these buildings when they actually were founded, not built. So they've done a good job in rewriting history, but one of the clues that they leave everybody is they label it as founded. So certain buildings, like famous buildings around the world, big state buildings, they're labeled as founded and not built. On their Wikipedia page, you can find it says founded. But yeah, North America has got some of the great examples. Places like Boston, more on the East Coast, I think. Boston was one of them. Obviously Chicago was one of them.
Detroit, there's loads of them. Yeah, there's loads.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, and the I looked into the. I don't think I've got a video, but I had the video for this randomly, so I didn't know that the ghost trains, the orphan trains were part of Tartaria. But I stumbled across the orphan trains when I was just getting a bunch of videos for like an earlier episode. I don't think we ever actually saw it, and I might have removed it, but it's true. You can see like video footage of all the orphans, basically like. You know, like in World War II, when in the UK, a lot of the kids were sent out to like the countryside to avoid getting killed, but in the Blitz and that similar sort of stuff. But it happened way before, and there was no war in America to justify it. And there's videos of these kids that are like, and obviously some of them got sent off into nice families, others were used in the fields, others were probably abused. I'm sure loads of them were abused, but yeah. So definitely, the orphan train thing is definitely 100% legit and real.
One of the reasons why the USA is important in this story is because it's got a very comprehensive timeline. When you look at Europe, it's got a big timeline. But the story we're told about the USA, these buildings don't make sense. They just have been built long before anybody was capable of building them. You know, the power tools
Do we
didn't come
know that?
around.
I mean, what's that based on? Like, do we have picture? Like,
We can't build them
in
today,
that
mate.
video?
We can't even figure out how to fucking how to get rid of rubbish in Birmingham. You know, we can't do anything at the moment. Yeah, I'll show you some of these videos. I think there's look at this castle video. It's unbelievable architecture. I don't buy that it was built by people that use not primitive tools, but they didn't have any of the any of the machinery, the engineering works that could do these things, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's important. The power tool is an important thing you got to understand. The power tools didn't come around to the 1890s. The first ones were out of Stuttgart in Germany. I think it was Bosch, and then Black & Decker in the early 1900s. Like, just the tools to make something like that, they can't even replicate it today. I don't know if you've ever been like to your, local council and asked them if they're erecting a Gothic style cathedral anytime in the near future, but there's not any modern examples of these, maybe except for what they're doing at Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. But it takes these buildings. If you look at the construction timeline, they say of these buildings, they say it took 2 to 3 years, all of them, every single one of them. So they built these ginormous buildings with primitive tools in 2 to 3 years, but these days they're not capable of doing it, and it takes them best part of 5 years to lace a motorway. It doesn't make sense.
But
Yeah,
we can track the styles, right? Like the the Greek style, the Gothic style. We can track how architecture changes across centuries, right? So there are like certain styles that those cathedrals were built, right? Like early ones, then like 16th century, 17th century, all the styles changes. So we can actually, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, they found something random. Like, we can actually see how things change across decades and centuries. And I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I haven't heard that it took him like 2-3 years for like cathedrals, like in Prague, for example. They were saying it took him like a decade, if not more. So,
I mean, again, examples I know of,
portion.
here in Barcelona, there's one called the National Palace. It's a big, ginormous palace. It's famous for its magic fountains. It's built in this Tartarian architectural style, which is the quote that they say that it's built from. They say they built that whole palace in 2 years. It's where they held the 1992 Olympic Games. It's known as Montjuic, and it was up until recently where Barcelona were playing their football.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
I remember that. Barcelona. That was the best ever Olympic intro music. I remember when Linford Christie was in that, right? Yeah, fantastic Olympics.
Exactly. That where those games were held, that whole site and complex was constructed in just 2 years. And they say it was 1930s they built that. But if you look at the photos that are available online, the only photos it shows an already constructed building. The only things you can see is sort of scaffolding around these buildings where they're painting it. Another good example is
it's a renovation job rather than a rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. Again, same in America. A lot of the old pictures you'll find in America of them actually constructing with scaffolding are actually painters and decorators. And there's actually like vans outside and horse and cart or whatever outside that says painters on it and stuff like that. It's just hard to grasp that they have been able to construct these ginormous buildings in such a short period of time when it's just not really feasible with the technology that was available. The movement of the material that will be required, and yeah, in the time. Another good example was is it the Palace of Mafia or something in Portugal, 1907, constructed in 18 months. If you just pulled up a picture, in your own time, and you looked at the ginormous size of this building,
what?
It's Palace
of
Mafia, M-A-F-I-A, I think it is.
Mafia.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Or Mafia, M-O-F-I-A.
Or the Mafra.
That one.
Hang about. This one. Oh, wait a minute. How do I get my thing up here? 1 second. Sorry, guys.
We just don't know. We actually don't even know what tools they had at that time and the technology, right? I think a lot of it is lost as well. So they might have had, like, if you look at Michelangelo or, right, even the sculptures, what they did with granite, like things that they did is pretty crazy, even by today's standards. So
It's bad.
This bad boy, yeah. They did that in 2 years with minimal technology. Constructed in 1907, and it was less than 2 years constructed.
Yeah, it's a big old bad boy, isn't it?
Yeah, you can always tell the type of building they construct or they did construct in this empire. They always had.
Depends how many people were working on it, though. If there's like 10,000 people working on it, you could probably knock that up in a couple of weeks. If you get the right people, get some Polish people in or whatever. That's what they're doing.
I'm just saying, there's many examples. There's many examples. You know, we could sit all day going through examples of these buildings from the 1800s, 1900s, even earlier, that just doesn't make sense in the time that they say they're constructed.
I want to show you guys some better videos. I was going to bring John in as well because John hasn't said a word. Once again, John, mate, you've got to fight for your airtime here. How did the sequence get out there? I've got OCD. Let me show another video that might show a little bit about the world fairs. And let me see which one I've got here. Let's have a look. I've got a few. Here we go. What's this?
They erased Tartaria. 1776 was the year everything changed. In 1776, the Illuminati was founded in Bavaria. The Rothschild banking empire began its global expansion. The American Revolution broke out. Tartaria began to disappear from the maps, all in the same year. Coincidence? Tartaria was not a myth. It was a vast, ancient civilization with advanced free energy technology, great architecture using sacred geometry, a harmonious way to live with natural law, knowledge of the ether. They buried Tartaria, literally, with mud floods, natural disasters, and a new history. Once they buried the old world, they created the new one. Central banks, slavery by debt, maritime law, artificial scarcity, indoctrination through education, all funded by the same families. The Rothschilds didn't just fund empires, they funded restarts and deleted everything that didn't serve the system of control. Tartaria was way too free, way too advanced, way too powerful. So they turned everything upside down. Free energy became fossil fuel. The truth became a conspiracy. The spirit became religion. Nature has become a resource. Freedom became an illusion. 1776 wasn't the beginning, it was the cover. We are the generation that rediscovers what they tried to delete. Tartaria was real. The ether is real. And the truth is no longer hidden.
Tartaria. That's what they're going to do. What are you saying, John? What are you saying, mate? Come on in.
You shouldn't make me laugh before you ask me to say something. So one of the theories I've heard about this was that the buildings were all around in the time of Christ. That's one of the theories. And that they're a lot older than what we're told they are. Yeah, Ulrika Tartaria.
Very good.
Imagine saying that one after you've down the old Chateau Pat de Neuf, Sean, in the 3 seconds.
Pat de Neuf?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm on the Katie tonight.
On?
I'm on Katie tonight, mate. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, that'll get you started. Yeah, that's one of the things what I've heard. Nice.
You're on the water, mate.
What you got there? No, that's white Jamaican rum.
Nice. Just a little drop. Just a drop of white Jamaican rum.
Yeah, just a little lubrication. So what do we think on that theory then, gents? What do we think? Anything in the comments?
1776. Certainly was a big year, wasn't it? Certainly was a big year. You know, big year for change. Let's be honest.
It was a good year, as they would say in wine, but for the Illuminati.
Yeah.
I think what you said was right. I think what John said. I think what John said was right there. I think there was 1,000-year reign of Christ, which takes us back to where we currently are in Satan's little season. One of the first things we discussed. And I think these beautiful buildings were temples and healing centers and built for the benefit of mankind. And I think the technology was hijacked at some point in the last 150, 200 years. And, you know, people were just starting to put the pieces together that there was a civilization that was so advanced. It wasn't just advanced on a technology sort of point of view. It was actually a spiritual journey. And yeah, I think it ties in for the 1,000-year reign of Christ.
I have a question for you, Nikos.
Go on.
To your point about the buildings. So, you know, St. Petersburg in Russia, right? Sean, pull up Winter Palace, a Hermitage. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, right? So St. Petersburg was built in like what, 1700s or nothing. It was
Winter
just
Palace.
Yeah, Winter Palace, St. Petersburg. So Peter the Great, right? There was nothing. It was like swampland. He built St. Petersburg, and he said, "This is going to be my capital." So there was nothing there. It's fact. And then they built probably the greatest palace, or like one of in the world, and that was like in 1700s. If you look at the Hermitage, that's probably Louvre and Hermitage are like top two.
Yeah, but that could just be like a bunch of townhouses in Bournemouth. Like it's just
no, but like if you look inside, all I'm saying is they've built stuff like that, right, on that scale. So if they could build
but not with the detail though. That's just houses, right? That's just a lot of houses put in, or a lot of big place. But it's in terms of the detail, the architecture, some of the other shit. I've got some videos. I hope that will show it. They've got like unbelievable detail in the kind of the granite carvings or the stonework. Right, that just looks like a kind of cut and paste job.
But it's just an example. Like Michelangelo, he was carving, right, marble back in, I don't know when. Like when was he around in Florence?
That looks like one of your summer houses, Sean, in your garden.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah. You know, I had a good year.
I'm just saying, just asking.
Yeah, I think again, we haven't got pictures or blueprints from that building, from that Winter Palace, so we don't know who really built it. We know a story that you just rightly put across, but did he really build it, or did he inherit it and find it from somebody else?
No, but like we're saying, like there was nothing there. It was like a swampland. He built the city from scratch.
Again, it's a story, isn't it? If it's from the 1700s, it's a fable. If anything else, you know, like unless there's actually receipts and records which come in the form of blueprints and pictures, you know, like it ties into the idea that these grand buildings were built all over the world, but who built them?
It's more like, no, see, I'm not that impressed with size. Like that one's quite cool with the dome and shit on it. But like, I don't know whether it's just back in the day people had more time on their hands.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's this one here. If that's legit, I don't know if you can see it properly. No, it's a bit out of focus. But it's those sorts of architecture, like the antennas and it's like the cathedral looking shit. That's like
it's what's known as like Gothic style.
Yeah,
Gothic
in Prague,
style,
it's amazing. Like when I was in Prague, like that's what I was into. The architecture is amazing. Or like
they actually have a very unique style in their building structures and their architecture design. Like the three things that were in common with a lot of their buildings was the spires that they used to build. They used to use those as antennas. The domes,
for Tesla electricity, right?
All sorts of things. But the Tartarians, actually, all of their buildings were known to have these three common denominators in them because they actually had a purpose, because it was a technology. But they used the spires, which function as like antennas, which would withdraw energy from the ether, domes, which amplified specific frequencies for healings, and bells. And the bells were like tuned to reinforce like the structural integrity, but also harmonic resonance that they used to use. It's set for certain frequencies, but it used to heal people, and some say it was used for levitation as well. So
I think I've got a video on that, actually. I think I've got a video on some blue cobalt shit. Where is it? Is this the
blue
one?
cobalt shit? I'd like to see that.
Blue cobalt shit.
I've got it somewhere. Here we go.
Down in the South, people used to sit in front of blue stained glass windows, cobalt glass windows, so that they could heal from the flu. Someone said, I put my cobalt glass bottle in the sun so the water absorbs the blue healing frequency. Yes, this is going back to the color blue. You can look into the work of Edwin Babbitt. Color blue is very, very healing. They would sit in front of blue glass so they would heal when the sun hits the blue glass. That blue glass would then transmit onto the body, and the body would begin to heal. And this is why when you look at the glassware of the past, it used to be all made out of cobalt glass. Cobalt is the precursor to B12. So when people are having a B12 deficiency, they usually use pasteurized nutritional yeast, but in reality, you could just be drinking out of cobalt. This is why you go back in time and a lot of people didn't have the nutritional deficiencies that they have today because their glassware was giving them nutrients. You had cobalt, you had silver, you had a little bit of uranium and radium and that whole thing. They were getting all these different nutrients from their glassware and from the things they were drinking out of and eating from. Then we started pasteurizing things, zapping things, microwaving it, cooking it, destroying it, coming up with the oven, coming up with the microwave.
What were we saying about that, John? You were sorry, mate. I didn't mean to cut you off then. The video started. Sorry.
Yeah, fascinating, isn't it? I don't know why he's talking with his cup right onto his chin like that.
I do that sometimes just to get some sort of rest.
Just rest on you. Yeah, talking about the bells. That apparently that as a theory as well. I've heard that it cleared demonic entity energies, and they were all removed. There were like bells all over the place on these types of buildings, and the churches weren't what we are told they are now, like Christian and Catholic. They were actually constructed for healing and for resonance through sound. If you look at most churches that are not modern, they've got the window at the back, at the rear, and they've got like what people say is like a sun symbol, but it's actually a resonance. You know, those things are done with the resonance of sound, like with salt and things, you know, like sand. Yeah. And when they put certain frequencies through them, that it comes up, doesn't it? Like different star shapes, hexagonal. Well, if you look at the back of a church, often they've got these shapes built into them with glass and so on. So apparently when they would play whatever music they're playing or do the the singing and the chanting, it would resonate through and it would send the energy out through these glass structures at the back, and it would send it out into the local community. And like Nikos said, you could apparently go there for healing because of the resonance of the building.
We've got to do a show on resonance. We've got to do a show on that shit because it's definitely something's going on with that. Because I think that they do that to lift. I think the people that built the pyramids or the aliens, whatever, it's definitely aliens. But that shit for me was built. It was built using like resonance to be able to lift and make things like levitate or whatever. I think that frequencies and resonations are everything in life. We haven't got a fucking clue. We're told to ignore all that shit and eat your vitamin pills and poison yourself. But
this is why the churches all had organs in them. All the churches, the grand churches, used to have organs in them as well, so they could create the sound that would be the frequency of the healing. That's why we're not quite aware why all these churches have got these ginormous organs in them. They removed a lot of them as well, but also they removed the bells. During World War One, they took a lot of the bells away, and they said they needed to melt the metal down for cannonballs or whatever bullshit they told us. But it was a systematic removal of the technology.
Well, the word apparently comes from cathode, in electronics.
Yeah.
Cathode rail. So if you look at things like this, how the old churches were constructed on the top, how it would so the theory, the rumors go that it would be connecting to the ether and powering it up, and then use that power to go out into the community for healing or for electrics, to light lamps and so on. There's lots of old videos where there's buildings lit up like that. Is it the old trades fair? I can't remember. Where was it?
Yeah, I've got some videos on the trades fair, or World's Fair. The World's Fair.
World Fair, yeah.
Here you go. Here's a video on it. Just quickly, Neil Blatt, I think your name is. Hi, mate. Staggeringly absurd concept.
You cannot be staggering until they're not staggering.
Yeah.
Love it. You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. Or maybe I need whatever you guys are smoking. I'm not smoking. I'm drinking. I think Nikos is drinking. I think John's drinking water dressed up as rum to make sure he's fitting in. No, is it legit? Is it? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All those microplastics.
It sounds absurd because we're not talking.
BPA-3. We're cool.
Yeah.
And the rum destroys any of the toxicity of the plastic, so it balances.
The microplastics are melting in the rum, mate. That's what we do here. Yeah, exactly. And we start talking Jamaican, man.
Yeah, man.
It sounds absurd, Mr. Black, because we're not taught it. So it sounds alien to us. But the reality of it is, the more time you do into the research, the more it makes sense and more the pieces come together. So we're not smoking anything. We've just put the time in trying to understand this. And on the original point of that question, before we move on, blue cobalt, there's a water company here in Spain. It's a really famous bottling company like Evian is today, mate, in the UK and America. And it's called Solon de Cabra. So it's SOLANDE and then CABRA, I think it is. And they always used to serve it in a blue glass bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
If you've ever been to Spain, you see it. It's the best tasting water of all the water I've ever had in the world. It's like the best tasting, but it seems to just taste luxurious. And they, up until recently, it was always served in glass only, not in plastic. But they changed it to plastic in the last couple of years.
I quite enjoy. I'm quite partial to gin, and I have to be honest. My favourite gin is Bombay Sapphire, because that also comes in a nice blue bottle. I didn't know if it was speaking to me on some sort of resonance that I wasn't aware of. Now it all makes sense, right? So I'm dialed in. If I'm going to poison myself through blue.
And also Don Julio
for it as well.
And Don.
What's that? Sorry.
What did you say? What did you say, you donut?
I was saying you're getting healed through it as well because of the blues.
Exactly, the cobalt. Blue cobalt.
What are you doing? Are you deaf? Are you actually on the rum tonight?
Who just said in the chat? Someone said, "Why ain't John talking?" Put your speakers up, mate. I've been talking for the past 10 minutes.
Many liquor companies have actually paid homage to the blue cobalt glass bottles as well. Don Julio, which is one of the oldest tequila brands in the world, they used to make their tequila in a blue square bottle, glass bottle.
Did Bonnie Blue get her name because of this?
As well.
Which one?
I said that justifies buying some tequila now as well.
Maybe I've got alcohol in the brain, but I just remembered that always coming in like it's a very specific shade of blue. Like blue cobalt is actually the color, like the color.
Someone said blue nun.
Blue nun, yeah.
Why not?
You get that nice blue meth as well from Heisenberg. That's obviously you know, if you smoke that shit, it's the good version, right?
I think maybe we're clutching, but you know, like there seems to be a little bit of like a connection between the glass in the churches and the healing properties that it would bring for people that were inside of the property.
Bonnie
Blue will heal you in ways that you never thought possible.
Mate, you show your intellectual levels with that comment, Eugene. There's a time and a place in the same.
Eugene, bloody hell.
Yeah. Bonnie Blue is a dude. I've seen this in other conspiracies, isn't it? There's a geezer out there who looks just like Bonnie Blue would do if she was a bloke. And imagine if that came out in the wash, and all the blokes that have been lining up.
That's a different show, Sean.
Yeah.
A different show indeed. Yeah, that comes in the post-match. That's in the post-match analysis in a couple of hours' time.
That's the final conspiracy rabbit ramblings. That's the
last one. Final boss. It's the final boss.
Yeah, we've got 1001 conspiracies now.
Yeah, 100%. I genuinely think that might be true, by the way. The guy looks just like Anyway, let's get back to World Fair, shall we? Let's look at the World Fair stuff.
Why does it always go to Bonnie Blue on this channel?
Eugene lowered the tone.
Yeah.
We're talking about blue, so it all made sense. Now it's a full circle.
Right. If that's the top of the list for blue, again, this is a lot about you and not so much about us.
I'm fine with it. I'm here for it, to be honest. Right, let's look at World Fair, shall we?
Anyone who's ever looked into the World Fairs, the official story is that they wanted to introduce new technologies to the world, and the way they did it was by building literally hundreds of buildings, and many of them were the biggest buildings in the world. The official story is that they were built temporary using plaster, and they were only intended to last for a short period of time. By contract, they had to destroy them all after the fair, In many cases, they were destroyed by mysterious fires that were never investigated. In every instance, they lost millions of dollars. And when you look at the pictures of these buildings, they're not temporary buildings. What it appears to be is as if there was a culture, a society that existed that was being erased from history.
Listen, on this channel, right, I don't know which ones I believe, which ones I don't believe. I'm open-minded to all of them. This one, for me, like, I kind of have to, it's not like the World's Fair thing, like the World Fairs things, like some of the architecture that was in those pictures is unbelievable. Why they would knock those things down or allow them to sort of burn out, especially if they're sort of built out of concrete or built out of granite or whatever they're built out of, how they were burned down, why they were burned down, I don't know. The only question mark, and by the way, the videos that you or the pictures you can see, I think there's some I think you've Nikos has brought them here to my attention. Here's some of them. The pictures of the ones that have like these buried floors, right, below street level that have windows in them, but they've sort of architect. Can you hear me still, by the way?
Yeah.
That are like underneath the floor, and they got windows and stuff. So clearly there was more going on before that. They weren't just basements or whatever. Because they wouldn't have had windows. The only part that I sort of challenge on it is back then in like the 1800s when it was a lot of like horses and carts around. Wouldn't there have been a fuck ton of manure and shit? And so wouldn't maybe just part of the game be to like just to bury things up by putting mud down and just sort of like raise things up a little bit, raise up the level? Does that sound a little bit too far-fetched?
That's a big pile of shit though, Sean.
It's a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of fucking horses around, right? What are you supposed to do with the manure?
They actually went through. Yeah, they actually went through a lot of the big cities in the world that were exposed to this particular event. Actually went through city raising street exercises.
Right.
It was a worldwide phenomenon where they actually raised the street levels. So whether or not it was shit or whether or not there was a whole fuck ton of mud, but whatever reason, the actual governments around the world conspired together to raise street levels at the same time in the early 1800s. Here in Barcelona, for example, there's Roman ruins which are in Borneo, and they've dug them all out over the last like 5 years, and you go in there and see them all, and everything is 15, 20 feet underneath the ground. It's only small structures that have exposed to the public, but across the whole world, there was, things that are being dug up that are far, far under the ground. The examples I gave Eugene earlier on, like the Omaha Mary of Magdalene, that one goes 50 feet underground. And there's pictures of them actually digging down. One of the clues is these constructed buildings are there, and there's geezers with big shovels in a line digging down into the dirt. So I think the conclusion is they were doing an excavation as opposed to covering up horse manure, because it happened everywhere across the world at the same time. Unless everyone had a shit problem in the 1800s.
Well, they would have done. There would have been horses absolutely fucking everywhere, right? And dead horses. How the fuck are you supposed to move a dead horse?
There's a lot of dead horses and a lot of shit. Something smells off.
I'm not calling bullshit. I'll never call bullshit on anything, but because I'm open-minded. But I'm just saying, like, logically, as people are asking questions here, how did the mud get here? When I first heard about the mud flood thing, I was expecting, was this like an asteroid that hit, like a kind of like the Great Flood type thing, where everything got wiped out, but this one just happened to be mud? I don't know. Was there like was there mountains that there was massive rainfall and then just like huge like cascading mud, that sort of stuff? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have to be alien.
The scientific term is a liquefaction of the ground. So at some point, there's been a large amount of water that's been exposed to the soil, and it just covers and covers. So whether that was some sort of type of seismic event, it could have been a tsunami or something like that. There could be anything. It could be, if you want to go biblical, floodgates opening, and ties in with all of the stories of the floods. But I don't know the answer, and I don't think anyone knows the answer. We just know there was a big exposure to a lot of mud at the same time, which was a combination of soil and water. And there's lots of sites across the world that at the same time are digging buildings out of the ground.
For sure, 100%, there are. There definitely is, right? I think I've got some more This is a before and after stuff, I think. Let me have a quick look at this one before you go.
How much false can you find? And there's lots in history. I was looking around the internet and came across the images of the 1893 Chicago World Exposition. And it blew my mind because it looked like ancient Rome in the middle of downtown Chicago. And as I looked at it further, well, here's another one in Philadelphia, here's another one in St. Louis, in Buffalo, in San Francisco, and then as soon as they were done, they tore them all down and threw them in the garbage. That just told me there's something wrong with all of these. The story of the expositions is a gigantic lie. And I think it's so huge of a lie because I think they're right at a bridge point when so many things about the 1800s that seem strange and weird, right as this sort of period ends of unbelievable strangeness, and all of a sudden these fairs spring up all over the world with impossible buildings we're talking about, which are colossal structures. Chicago built 700 acres of fair in supposedly less than 2 years. St. Louis built 1,200 acres.
That's what I'm saying.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
But is it a conspiracy? Like,
I think
all I'm seeing is like that video there just shows like buildings that still exist today that existed 150 years ago. Like, I'm kind of with Eugene in as much as like there's medieval architecture all over Europe that was built a long time ago. It doesn't mean that there's like that was what are we saying here, that they were aliens or something in the 1700s? Because it wasn't that long ago, was it? What are we saying? I don't know what we're saying. What is the people that are saying that they're like there was a lost civilization of like awesomeness that could carve these amazing buildings out of granite or whatever? What are we saying? Are we saying that like sometime only 200 years ago that everyone was killed off and that they were replaced with like we're all just the children of orphans? Well, I'm not sure what we're saying here.
Mate, you're on the right track there. Something along those lines. There was a cataclysm that happened in the early 1800s, late 1700s that took out a large percentage of the world. And the remnants of these buildings were from the previous civilization that died off. The orphan trains and all of these things tie into a very destabilized populace across the world. And the population growth in the last 100 years supports the idea that there was a reset at some point in the last 200, 300 years at the maximum, probably 200 years. So if you look at the population growth when we are now and you go back to the 1700s, we'll be talking about very small amounts of people walking the earth. So not only are we talking about these grand buildings being, like Eugene's example, constructed in the 1700s, we're talking about a very small amount of people constructing these buildings. It doesn't make sense.
But like, if you just, for example, you know, I'm from Ukraine, right? So if we're talking about the 1800s, that's what, like 4 generations. If that's what would happen, there definitely would be stories and like people would remember when it's a huge cataclysm. For example, like Noah's Ark, right? This is something that happened like 2000, whatever, 5,000 years ago, and there's still myths about it everywhere. So if something would happen as early as, not as early, but as recently as 300 years ago, there definitely would be some remnants, some stories, something that people would talk about, right? Forget architecture.
Right? I would agree. You would think that, but unfortunately, the curriculum is controlled by the Rothschild family all over the Western world. So the people that control the information have a incentive to not give us certain information.
Yeah, but you're still going to get something you're going to sneak through, right?
Among people, just like stories from like grandmother to a grandchild, right? Like these myths are not regulated, right? They just go like within like family stories, right? Shared stories.
If you go back and track your family tree, I don't know if any of you have done that, but most family trees only go back to the early 1800s. Like I know there's certain people with certain names.
Just because paperwork and archives are difficult to.
Mine doesn't.
I'm just saying there's only the majority of people across the world, their lineages only go back for a couple of 100 years. There's not documentation of anything, and unless people have got something written down proof-wise, it's very hard to say one way or the other. But
how far does yours go back, Eugene?
No, but what about the DNA, right? So, for example, if I look at like 23andMe, for me, right, I'm like 99.9% Jewish, which means right, my lineage goes, whether my ancestors moved from
99.99% Jewish.
yeah, or like
I'm
nine,
eight,
whatever.
I'm 8% Nigerian or 8% East African.
I can tell. Makes sense.
I know
But-
which bit is 8% African, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know.
No, but I'm saying like, so I can trace, even though I can say my
Big
like
years.
my great grandparents lived in Ukraine for like 200
Maybe
years,
feel like
but
you should.
before they lived in whatever, right? They went from Israel to whatever. So I can trace that. But if we're saying there was an ancient civilization, then kind of how does that fit in?
Yeah,
If we
the
can-
whole world wasn't reset. The whole world wasn't exposed to this cataclysm, but a large amount of it was. And if the one thing that I've always thought about is the lost city of Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean.
That I
So
believe.
anything, so okay, so this theory that I've got is that there was a cataclysm that happened in the Atlantic Ocean that destroyed whatever was in the Atlantic Ocean, which is why it's just a big bed of sea now and there's no land there. But there are sort of bits of land. And I've heard stories from people from the islands in Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, of stories of giants. First-hand experiences from, like you said, handed down through generation, through grandmother to grandmother and stuff like that. And what if there was an event that happened 300 years ago, 250 years ago, that revolved around the Atlantic Ocean, that created a large amount of water to countries that bordered it? You know, this would be Europe, this would be the western coast of Africa, this would be predominantly eastern coast of America. That kind of makes a little bit of sense to me, because again, the question you brought up originally was, where does all this water come from? That's always been something that I've always sort of go
Where's
back
what
to.
come from?
The water. If there was a mud flood and there was a cataclysm, where did the water come from? Why was there so many? At the same time, I'm saying there's a consistent timeline here, a very short period of timeline for like 10, 15 years, 20 years, where this would all have had to happen at the same time. So
Let me ask you a question, Nikos. Let me ask you a question. Are there any conspiracies that are out there in the top 100 that you don't believe in?
I don't know. It's very hard to trust. It's very hard to trust a lot of the stuff. I mean, you fire off some stuff, and maybe I'll say yes or no. But you know, I'm open to everything. Like,
do you believe in giants, right?
Yeah.
You believe in aliens, whether they're from here or demons or whatever, but there's something else that's non-human.
There's something else here, just not from where we think.
Okay. Do you believe in the Rothschilds rule the world?
Yeah.
You believe in the Illuminati?
Are you going to go through the whole 1,000 that Grok listed?
Yeah. Well, we actually went.
Do you believe JFK was killed by something other than the official story?
Yeah.
Do you believe in human cloning?
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are not crazy. Those I believe in those too. So those I believe in.
You believe in human cloning as well, Eugene? Do you?
I mean, believe that it's possible or it's been happening.
But what was the sheep called?
Do you believe
Dolly the sheep?
Spears, or do you believe that, like, you know, rap stars or whatever, of like they get sent off to some cloning factory?
I believe it's possible, but I don't believe Diddy is a clone.
Mate, do you remember the story of Dolly?
The clone of Eugene.
Yeah. Do you remember the story? Do you remember the story in the 1980s from the successful cloning of Dolly the sheep in England? Do you remember that?
Got the photo somewhere here. I've got the photo somewhere.
Do you remember the story?
Dolly the sheep. Yeah, that was a big story, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was in the 1980s. That was 40 years ago. So they could clone animals 40 years ago. Like, you'd be a little bit.
Can they clone your memory? Like, if you were to, you could make someone that looks just like you. I'm sure you could, like, take. In fact, I've seen a video of it. I think I even got it on my list here, where a scientist goes, "I can take a skin cell from you, and I can get the female, like the female bits of you and the male bits of you, and turn it into a seed or whatever, fertilize the whole thing, and you can grow a mini me, right?" But it would be a baby that would grow up looking just like you, but it's still going to have its own mind. It's still going to have its own memories. It's still going to have its own thoughts. What I'm talking about is the idea of, like, growing a clone of you in some blue liquid somewhere in like some cryogenically frozen whatever, one of those types of stories, and then the geezer, like he comes out with the same tattoos that he's got, you know, that sort of shit, like the stories that you see in the dark recesses of 4chan.
Yeah, I think we covered one of these in one of the previous shows. I think there was a couple of rappers. Was it XXX Tenacion? And I think there was a couple of people that actually come out and said exactly what you just said. Yeah, I've been cloned. This is the third version of me. You know, I've got my memories and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's people on record, like high-profile people that actually put their neck on the line to say it.
Doesn't mean it's true, though. They're saying it. They're getting some attention, getting some clicks, right?
Or they could be crazy. That's possible too. Some people are just insane.
As I said, I don't have any first-hand experience with that personally, but I'm open to the idea that's highly possible for sure.
So are there any mainstream conspiracies that you go, come on now, what are we doing here?
Mate, I've been a conspiracy theorist for about 30 years, mate. And there were things that I used to say 30 years ago that were just wild, like chemtrails and things like that. And people were like, oh my God, you're so crazy. But they all turn out to be fact eventually.
I hear you. I absolutely hear you on that. I 100% hear you. The vast majority of the things it was 1999 I discovered conspiracies and I've never looked back. I love it, but there are some conspiracies where I'm like, Occam's razor tells me it's probably just like something else.
There's probably psyops out there, and there's things that you're made to believe if you're in this kind of circle. I would think that maybe are not true, but we went through the list. Like I remember you and I before one of the shows a few weeks ago. We went through the 1,000 list. Like we went scrolled through, and I was like, yep.
Let me see if I can find it. I've got it here somewhere.
Honestly, I was like, I've probably got very few on here that I'm not somewhat familiarized with. I think it's just again the time you spend in these subjects.
What about you, Johnny boy? Any conspiracies that are just like, oh come on now, what are we doing? Here you go. I'll read them out. Okay, so I'll put it on the screen. I've got 200.
If we believe them or not.
Hey, chat can go too. Just go 0 and 1 chat if you believe them or don't believe.
They've got 200 conspiracies from the most widely believed to the least believed. This is just 200. I've got 1,000 others or 800 others to go through. JFK assassination. Are we all agreeing that that was an inside job? Yeah.
Yep.
All agree. I can't see your faces because I'm looking off the screen. So
yep.
Oh yeah.
9/11 inside job.
Yep.
Yeah. Moon landing was faked.
Yep.
Gurney were completely different, as were the earlobes. Always check the earlobes. Rule one of trying to figure out if it's a looky-likey or a real dude is look at the earlobes, because they always neglect the earlobe game, and it's like stupid of them, because you got smart fucking people like me that are checking out the earlobes before I'm looking for anything else. Always check the earlobes.
No, Bourdain died, Sean. Bourdain died in 2018, so that's not him. That's not possible. He killed himself.
All we saw was a picture, though. All we saw was a picture. Let me show you.
I'll be back.
Epstein body on. How do you spell Gurney? Is it Germy?
Ney?
Can you see it? Can you see it?
No, not yet.
Epstein body taken out of hospital. Is this the one? That wasn't it. Hang on, I'm trying to show you on the screen as well. Doing two things at one time here. So, where's the footage? So you can see anyway. Epstein doesn't have like a hook nose too much. He's got like a fairly small nose, and it's not too bad. Let me just see if I can find the picture of the guy's nose coming out of the hospital. Is that it? That wasn't it. That's not him. Fuck it. Oh, they're covering his nose there. Damn it.
That's
anyway,
they're bagging him there, aren't they? They've got they're trying to help him breathe. So that's.
I'll find it off in a minute as we're going through it. But 100%, in my opinion, he was rushed out during that 1 minute clip. Well, Nikos, why have you gone 90 degrees, bro?
Sorry, I might send a message to somebody.
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
He's back. They definitely used somebody else's body. I think in that 1 minute where the footage was like cut off, I think he was fucked off out the door and replaced by a dead body of someone that looked like him. 100%. He's back in Israel, or he's on some island somewhere, doing
Do you
whatever he
think
does.
Dominic Solanke's going to be a different person when he comes back?
Maybe. I've got Solanke on my the Solanke
Yeah,
conspiracies
Morgan
about
Gibbs
to go on my list, mate. I think.
Yeah, are we all agreeing that Dominic Solanke is being replaced?
I think there's something up there, mate. I think there's something going on there. Maybe there's a betting scandal around the corner or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one that we've had a little bit of disagreement is this one here. COVID-19 psyop, right? 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there ever was a COVID virus.
What about Big Pharma suppresses natural cures?
100%.
100%.
That's big money, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they come up with a cure for that.
Eugene's got splinters up his backside. Look, he's absolutely on the fence. He's not even here.
He's not even here because he knows that people are watching. He's got the tap on the shoulder from his mates at Mossad, and they said, "Get out of the way, take your name off."
He's Ukrainian, Mossad as well. Usyk.
Fluoride in water. Are we all good? That's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should never drink tap water, right?
Yeah.
Chemtrails. Princess Diana. We all agree that was an inside job.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence with that one. I've got a feeling she come from a very high-profile family. Maybe she was a Rothschild or something. Gave birth to the kids and then was taken out of the picture. I don't know if she was killed, but I'm kind of on the fence with that one. I see Paul McCartney on the list there.
Paul McCartney's Paul McCartney. I can't believe Paul McCartney's number 17.
Hold on, you're skipping them. Can we go back up to number 11?
Oh yeah, MK mind control program. 100%. That's not even in doubt. That's been released in the MK Ultra and
MK Dons.
MK Don. Oh, we're going to go to we're definitely going to go to Milton Keynes, aren't we, John? At some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Cynical dad reckons she was pregnant with Dodie's child. I don't think that Prince Harry is. I think part of the reason why the royal family was so more than welcome for Prince Harry to fuck off with his Hollywood wife is because she was the child. He was the child of James Hewitt. James Hewitt, was it?
He was the polo player. No, he was one of her personal trainers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he definitely had a crack on it.
Well, William I'm on the fence with Rothschild, doesn't he now?
I'm on the fence with the Area 51 one.
William is the spitting image, and his head is the shape of great Jacob Rothschild now.
Yeah, he looks like a Rothschild for
sure. Hang on, Jacob Rothschild isn't Jacob Rothschild about 90?
Mr. Burns.
Burns.
Yeah,
yeah. Excellent.
95 or something. So, he could still be getting his thing on, couldn't he?
Would they even tell us if he was dead?
Saying that Diana had a piece of the old Jacob, did he?
Would they even tell us if he was dead? Would they tell?
That's Mr. Burns, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
He was. God, look at that! Look. He wasn't like a completely unattractive man in his 50s. Look how he finished up. Or he's finished. Is he still alive now? No, he died.
I bet he used to tell the staff to release the hounds when there was like some sort of cold caller at the gates. Release the hounds.
Simpson.
Yeah.
Sensational. I mean,
he used to walk out of the grounds at midnight, like glowing. Remember that?
I'm on the fence with on your list there. I'm on the fence with the Area 51. The purpose of that.
Oh yeah, let's go back to the list. Yeah, I'm not.
What? So you don't believe who was the geezer? The geezer who what's his name? Who went on Joe Rogan? What's his name?
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar. Yeah, I believe Bob Lazar. I think Bob Lazar tells too. He's too like he hasn't got enough like. He hasn't got enough of the je ne sais quoi to be able to pull off a story like that for me.
Yeah, he looks like one himself, though, doesn't he? He looks like an alien anyway.
Who, Bob Lazar?
Even his name sounds like the word laser.
Yeah, true. It's it definitely is a fascinating subject, but just I started on the it's aliens at Area 51 to maybe they've got something else there. Then it turned into there's definitely like keys to the underground there, and then it's like, oh, what are they doing there? And that's kind of where I'm at with Area 51.
The problem is with the idea of aliens and spaceships. The problem is that if you are religious, as you are, Nikos, then, and because of your belief in the firmament and everything, then all of that shit has to be from within the Earth's system, right? Like and it's a closed system, like Earth, right? According to your beliefs. So on that basis, I guess it's understandable that the idea of like, you know, aliens coming from far, far away is difficult.
Yeah, it doesn't mean there's technology here that's like, I mean, we've discussed on this show so far already, like the ancient architectural technology. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility they had aerial technology. You know, I think I brought it up in previous shows. It just, you know, the whole idea of alien bodies, it paints a picture and a perception of something flying in from the stars, and I find it hard to grasp.
I definitely believe in greys. I definitely believe in reptilians, and I definitely believe in like the spiritual battle between good and evil. And you know what's weird, right? Just quickly, Nicholas, I actually respect you massively because you're English, and you're having a like and it's less so for Adam Cahill, who hasn't been on the show, but for those of you who know him from the Spurs place, he's Irish, right? So I don't think it's like a stretch for Irish people to be openly like kind of visceral with their belief in God and their beliefs in that in all the things that comes with it. Same in places in Italy, in Europe, in South America, even in America. Like there's a lot of like religion is still a thing, but in the UK, in England, like it's almost like a taboo subject unless you're of the Muslim faith. Like to speak about your belief in Jesus Christ and things as an English person in England, it's like people are almost afraid to say it. Like it's
mate, taboo.
Conversation. It's taboo. It's a taboo topic, and I think it's crazy. Like I don't think. I think you should find faith if you can. You know,
mate. Again, I've been privileged to be through many different walks of life, but my nan was really, really religious. And when I was a kid, I used to go to bed at night, and when I would stay at her house, I would have to read pages of the Bible and stuff. So I started out from a sort of religious background, but I really lost faith as I grew into a man. I lost faith a lot and got very corrupted. And it wasn't until I sort of got a little bit older that I actually refound faith and actually refound God. And I'm very proud of myself, and I don't care what anyone thinks of my opinion. I know what I speak, and I speak what I say. But you know, it used to be a badge of honor. Being in the light of God used to be a badge of honor, but nowadays it's looked in very differently because society has been very corrupted.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of the moral beliefs that are pushed on people these days actually contradict the word of God. So, you know, you've got to wear it with a badge of honor, mate, and you've got to challenge these people, which is why I like doing shows like this, because I know it ruffles some people's feathers, but it resonates with few that maybe don't have the strength to convict themselves to their beliefs, you know. But I made my mind up, so it is what it is.
No, listen, like I say, I just think, like, I personally, sorry, I see that Sean Kenneth Copland. Yeah, he's definitely a fucking devil. He's definitely that geezer is definitely this guy here.
Oh, that's the one with the weird eyes, like
the one he's like, listen, love.
Yeah,
I need 2 jets or whatever. He's a proper weirdo, that one. But yeah, me personally, like, I've stumbled into. Have you seen that the 6-7 conspiracy? You know, the 6-7. You know that all the kids are doing 6-7 all the time. You seen that?
I've heard it, but I'm not versed.
So apparently, like, so it started out as a meme, like some kid in a basketball game went 6-7, and it's like blew up, and he's made loads of money. But then they trace it back, and it was like a few different songs and rap stars and things that started this idea of being asked to like rank. They were asked to rank things in certain orders or what they think out of 10. What do you think about Katie Thatcher out of 10? And you go, 6, 7, whatever. It's just basically like a little meme that went, and all the kids do it all the time. But it's got proper dark, sinister traditions. There's a guy who made a rap song. I forget his name. I'll find it in a minute. And he's like an outward devil worshipper, and his faith is Santa Maria or something. It's like a sort of South American, huh?
Yeah,
Santa Maria. But yeah, it's basically 6-7 is the devil's number, right? And it's basically this guy, and you go and watch these. Like, actually quite dark, right? This guy, he wears this weird, fucking horrible, like horror movie mask, and someone was interviewing him, and he said, "Do you ever take the mask off?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." And he took it off, and he goes, "Go and wear it." And the interviewer put it on his face, and he goes, "Oh, I've got your soul now." And he was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yep, you'll find out in a couple of days." And the guy like sort of freaked out, and he hasn't been this bloke out. This interviewer hasn't been seen since, apparently. Like he he's like lost his mind according to reports. But then you go and watch all these interviews with this bloke, and he's like, yeah, in my religion, like if you want to, you know, destroy someone, you write their name on a piece of paper and you put it in your shoe, and essentially it curses them and stuff. And he goes, there's people that you can't curse if they, like, you see, like, through these Santa Maria Church prayers or whatever. He goes, I can't tell you everything. And he goes, and the interview goes, oh, don't worry, I'll just go and ask someone else who's into it. Even though they won't be able to tell you either. It's very secret. But there's certain rituals and things that they get into. And like, it's proper dark stuff. Like, super. I started researching it, and I felt really uncomfortable, like, watching it, because, like, there's people out there that believe that they can, you know, if they want to trample over you, or if you're in the way, that they're obviously lost people, lost souls who are interested in their own ambitions and their own ends. But some of the stories out there about people that feel like they've been cursed, I don't know if obviously the curse could just be, you know, like self-fulfilling, like a placebo, like an antithesis of a placebo, where you believe you're cursed, so then you bring that energy on yourself. But it's like, but the thing he was saying was that when they do their rituals, you basically you see people's auras in like these sort of like color schemes. And weirdly enough, the color blue, tonight's show, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is sponsored by the color blue, clearly. If they try to do things, to put rituals on people who have this blue aura, then it doesn't work. You can't affect them. And those people are people that actively pray to Jesus every day. And I'm like, you know, it's weird. Have you seen that other video? Sorry, not to get off the topic here, but have you seen that other video about the Coca-Cola, when you got people go, I think it's at McDonald's or something, and you can write your name on the screen so that your name comes up on the can of Coke that you get, or the drink you get, and you can put any name that you want onto the device. You could put in Satan, you could put in Sean, you could put in John, whatever, Teflon, but you can't write Jesus. Whenever you put Jesus in, it comes up with an error.
Society has been corrupted, mate. Society has been corrupted. It's under a spell. There's such a thing as devil worshipping, and it's big business. And they're in the business of acquiring souls, mate. And people are falling for the traps in many different ways. So you've got to be loyal to God, and hopefully he'll save us.
Yeah, Skrilla's the name of the rapper. Cheers, Shawnee boy.
He's died the mask, right?
Yeah. And that mask apparently isn't soul cap or anything.
Can we have a look at him? Let's have a butcher's.
Yeah, I'll get it up.
I'm not familiar. I'm a bit out of touch with all that stuff.
We're not down with the kids enough, are we?
Nah, we're not down with OPP.
This guy. How I do it?
Did you say down with OPP?
That's what it was, wasn't it?
Well, that's going back a bit. It looks like
that's how old I am, John.
It is.
This guy, and that's his mask that he takes off and put it on someone's face. And he
Why
said,
would you want to put that on? Why would you want to take off and put it on?
I've got no idea, but apparently it's all into. I think this might be it. Is it on here? Let's have a look.
We've already covered that these people sell their souls to the devil just to get famous in these industries. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they're possessed.
Gorilla.
Oh, that's what it is. It's 7. So it's 6 feet underground, and the standard coffin is 7 feet long. There you go. That's the link. Yeah. I think we should do a video on we should do a show on Satanism and Jesus and all that sort of stuff.
Maybe we could get him on the show.
Jesus?
Yeah, no, you can't go in and have a Coke with your name on it if you're Jesus.
No, it's not. It's a website, Sean. It was a website. There was a website where you could customize your own bottles and your own cans. And I think it was actually the official Coca-Cola website. It was like a seasonal thing they did. But yeah,
Coca-Cola's personalized can campaign. There you go. Yeah, it excluded the word Jesus.
It wasn't through a particular company. It was directly from their website. So it makes it even more scandalous. The fact that you can put anything on these cans, but Coca-Cola would tell you, no, you can't put Jesus on there. And that was the only thing.
You can put Buddha on it. You can put Satan on it, but you can't put Jesus.
That was the only thing that I think they tried. I think I saw a video where they did like 2,000 different names. They tried 2,000, and that was the only thing that was not allowed.
Gabriel Jesus was really pissed off with that then, wasn't he?
Yeah. Can you? I don't know if you can put swear words. I don't know if someone's going to say, "Can you write swear words?" I don't know. But in terms of names, in terms of like common names and religious names and stuff, that was the only thing that wasn't allowed.
Can you put the word "ain" on it? AINE.
AIME.
AINE on the can.
Cocaine. Ah, very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm here. Got to get up very early in the morning to catch me in bed, Johnny boy. Got to get very.
Someone
Let's
says,
have a
"Don't
super chat.
say
Got to do
I've
some
got
super.
the Coke cans." Yeah, that's my initials. I could try it.
I don't know. I'm sure you can be creative like a UK registration plate, but you know the point was is you couldn't put names on it other like anything but Jesus. It was anything. That's scandalous.
It is scandalous.
So scandalous.
Nice.
That's how old John is.
Something Wong in it. He's changed his name. Something Wong in it. Big up to you, my man. He says, "Oh my God, is there a God?"
Yes, 100%.
Eugene, is there a God?
Depends what we mean by God.
He gifted you land. You've got a God that gifted you land, or there's no God. Can't have both.
What do you mean?
Well, the Israelis were given land, right, by God. It's God-given land. So either there was a God that gave you land.
According to them, I'm not saying I believe in what my ancestors believe in. I believe in the higher power, but God, as it's depicted in religious like books, like in Bible, Torah, whatever, that's not my definition of a God. I'm not a Jesus guy. I'm not the Yahweh guy. I believe in energy and universe, in the higher power, but not in a God as the religions of the world depicted. I'm not a Jesus guy, not a Muhammad guy, not a Yahweh guy. That's not me.
I think there were many gods. Wasn't there? We needed Lorraine for this one, but there was a Sumerian king list that was taken out of Iran when they invaded Iran in 2003. They took the Sumerian king list tablet, and that had a list of all the god names on it.
No, the kings.
What's crazy about that is tablets. Yeah, the gods after the flood, all like stacked up to real names of people and had real lineages, but the ones before the flood, that those kings they were like 600 years old. I think one of them was like 4,000
years old. So all of them lived like 1,000 years to like 600 years, but those were not gods. Those were kings who were descendants of whatever Anunnaki. So they were like hybrid, basically. They're not gods. They're just kind of.
Yeah, this is an interesting one actually. This is an interesting one that's probably new to a lot of you, but you're familiar with the story of the tree of life. I think it's the Cassim tree.
Yeah.
But it originated, there was the dolmen. The dolmen script or the dolmen tablet as well was also found. And it's believed that Bahrain, the island just off of Qatar, was actually the Garden of Eden. So Bahrain was actually known for being able to give you longevity by using their cassim trees, and they were able to live forever and not be sick. So there was a history of stuff that's hidden in Bahrain that actually attributes to the fact that there was some sort of type of civilization that had the information to be able to live forever. It's the dolmen tablets, is it? I'll find it for the next show. I'll write it down. It's on one of the whiteboards somewhere. But Bahrain, we're looking to Bahrain, one of the later ones. This is one of the reasons why there's a lot of money going into the Middle East right now, because in the 1950s, they actually figured out a lot of this stuff out and started pouring money into that region.
It's also because of the oil.
Not just because of the oil, not just because of the oil, but one of the reasons would have been because of the oil.
Because of the oil.
There's always left, mate. It's all everywhere. It's all everywhere.
There's a lot of fucking oil in the Middle East. Let's be honest. A lot of fucking oil out there. Let's get some super chats done. 1 second, guys. 1 second. James _119. Big up to you. He's become a new member of the show as well. Big up to you, James. Big up to you, buddy. Thank you very much indeed for your joining. PMG 1986 says legends. He looks forward to this. That was an hour ago. Sorry, my man. I didn't get to this in time. Thank you so much, PMG. Really appreciate you. Phil Coys has also come in with a super sticker. Choo choo to you, Philly boy. Thank you very much indeed. As has Ulrika Tartaria for brilliant. Thank you very much. Dry your bits
there tonight.
Who's there? Sven?
Stan. No, Stan at the at Ulrika's house. He's on the Stellars.
Oh, Stan Collymore. Yeah. Careful. Careful with the old Stan. Knock you about a bit, show you what's what. Put you back in your place, Ulrika. Thank you very much for the super sticker, miss. Appreciate you. Enjoy your day at the cricket today. Come on the England, by the way. Craig Fenner, big up to you, Craig. He says, Shawnee boy, I love this channel. Love your Spurs stuff too. But can we talk about Bob Joyce being Elvis? I don't know about this one.
For a fiver. Why not?
I don't know. I don't know about this one. That was on the list there. Elvis is dead in a place. I actually don't know. And I actually don't really care.
Bob Joyce.
He does sound a bit like him.
We'll write it down though. It's got on the whiteboard for you, Craig, and we'll put it in the research. Bob Joyce.
Is Bob Joyce the guy? Is Bob Joyce that meme guy?
The pastor. He's a pastor, isn't he? In America, he's got white hair, white beard.
Yeah.
No, that's not him.
I'm sure he's the guy from the meme.
The meme.
The guy he's always drinking a cup of tea. Hang on a second.
Oh no, that's. I don't think that's him. No,
it's not. No, it's not. Someone else.
He's got a lovely beard though. I'll give that to him.
He's calling himself Elvis. Let's see if I can find this one. Here we go. Can I play this or not?
The people want to know, who did you listen to growing up as a child, and who inspired your musical style today? Like what kinds of...
There were so many. I remember as a kid, we used to go to black church a lot in tent revival.
He's not Elvis,
that
is he?
was inspiration to me.
He's Kenny Rogers, as somebody said in the chat.
All these singers. I mean, the main thing is when you start singing, you discover your own self. You discover your own talent.
He definitely sounds like What is there a conspiracy? Why is it that all country and music singers all sound exactly the same?
Yeah, it's hard for me, mate. It's that on the year, it's not so generous, unfortunately. I don't know. How old would Elvis be these days to be Bob Joyce? Elvis.
That's like accents don't come out when people sing. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
There aren't accents unless it's the Proclaimers, and then it's like, yeah, fucking hell, they're Glaswegian.
When did Danny Kiriakou rock up into the chat?
Go on, Danny. Welcome, Danny.
Are we going to let the Danny Kiriakou?
I'm not a big Jesus guy. I certainly what I would say is in all of my conspiracies, I've definitely found the devil. I think the devil and 666 and all that stuff is everywhere. All of this shit, Satan worship, ritual abuse, all of that stuff is real. 100% it's real. And so there's people around today and there's spiritual wickedness in high places, and the people in the high places that are into all that shit, whether they believe in like actual God and Jesus and heaven and hell and all that shit, or whether it's just their way of being like, fuck you, because they live for themselves and they call themselves their own gods because they treat themselves in that regard. I don't know. But for sure, the things that the Bible practices and preaches as signs of the Antichrist, I see it everywhere. And so for me, I'm more and more inclined to believe that there's something to it, that the spirituality is real. And I also have figured out that, for me, it's a win-win situation. I said this to you guys before. Like, it's a lose-lose to be an atheist. Because if you're right, you're never going to know. But if you're wrong, you're fucked. You're fucked. So you might as well get on board it. Try and force yourself to believe, because at least if you're wrong, you won't. No one's going to go, you're in the mud, even though you will literally be in the mud 6-7.
The mud flood.
Yeah, but like I think that you're better off kind of believing. I don't know.
If the devil exists, God exists. So like it depends. You can actually go two ways with it. You can say, I don't believe in God, but I believe the devil does this or the other. It kind of like
Satan, the misunderstood, but that's a different show.
No, let's talk about it now.
Come on,
I feel like the mud flood Tartaria thing has run its course, because I feel like there's not a lot to it more than just like more and more pictures of old architecture that we don't know. So we can move on. We can talk about the Mandela effect, or we can talk about the Eugene. I know you want to get this. You want to get Satan thing off your chest. Go and talk to me about serpent worship, mate.
I want to get Satan off his chest.
Yeah,
mate, yeah, that's dark. Hey,
back in 1 minute.
Slander. Nikos couldn't handle
I'll be like box
Oh, no,
office.
we can handle
He
it.
couldn't handle
I
the
can handle
truth. He couldn't handle, no. So the whole concept of a devil comes with Christianity, with religion, right? Before there was a Prometheus myth. Satan, the definition was, I think, he's a trickster, right? So Satan was an angel or whatever, rebelling against God. So Prometheus gave humans fire, which is a metaphor for knowledge, right? The Garden of Eden.
Who was
The
Prometheus?
snake-
Sorry.
Prometheus in the Greek mythology. He was one of the gods who rebelled against Zeus and all the gods and gave humans fire because the humans were like all cold, they had no fire. And then because of that, he was chained to a mountain and, forever. And some birds were like eating his liver, blah, blah, blah. But the concept is that he gave people knowledge. So if you go back to the Garden of Eden, the serpent, right, the snake gave Adam and Eve knowledge. So the initial kind of, if you go way back before Christianity, even if you look at Gnostic texts, right, from that time period, the whole concept, and even if you look at Judaism, like in Judaism, in Torah, there's no concept of devil, as we see in the Bible, right? That evolved later. So the original myth was trickster or somebody who went against God. But in a lot of societies, civilizations, they're like the Prometheus myth is somebody came and somebody gave knowledge to humans, right? And the point of God is God, or God's did not want to share that knowledge. And somebody rebelled, either it's an angel or a God or whoever else rebelled, came down and gave humans the knowledge, whether it's agriculture, this, that, or that. So, and it goes, way back before the organized religion. So when the Christianity came along, when they decided what to include in the Bible and not, and what not to include in the Bible, right? The Council of, I forgot what it's called.
Nicaea.
Yeah, exactly. They left a lot of the Gnostic texts out, right?
Yeah.
The Dead Sea Scrolls, all that stuff out, and then it became Satan, devil means evil, means bad. Whereas before, the concept was different. It was more against rebelling against God, which, again, like I said, many societies believe that's how they got knowledge.
Yeah, basically, so the flip 180 on the story is, don't hate the serpent, don't hate the devil, because he was trying to give you knowledge, and God was being a selfish bastard, keeping it all for himself, right? And
And
that's
it goes
fine.
back to aliens as well, where, right, like we talked about before, where if you believe there is this race of aliens and the Earth is this colony, right, like a soul colony. If you extrapolate that and you think, okay, aliens are gods or a god, and they're holding kind of us down, right? Then there's supposed to be somebody else who's actually trying to rebel and escape and help humans transcend. So
right, but the problem with, and I'm fine with that, right? Like if you want to sit there and think, you know what, I'm better off with the knowledge than without, even though they say ignorance is bliss. Like, I think that's probably where it came from as well, by the way, that idea. But that's all cool. But why do all of the gods in the Bible, in the Old Testament, like Molech and God of Saturn, right, or Kronos, for example, why do all of those people that represent the same theme as the serpent, the same theme as the Antichrist, the same theme, why are they always into some fucking horrible shit like sacrificing children and raising spiritual wickedness? Like, it's one thing to sit there and go, these people, like these gods. Now listen, God wanted all the knowledge for himself. We wanted you to have it. Cool. Okay, so I can get on board that. Appreciate the share. Appreciate sharesies. Lovely jubbly. But why do I have to why do I have to kill children?
But that's based on the interpretation of people.
Sacrifices. Why does that bit come into the knowledge thing? You got to say
no,
thank
but that's
you.
the people, right? That's the people. They take something and they said, okay, we think this is what we need to do, right? Like,
How would you come to that conclusion? How would you come to that conclusion? Listen,
God's
these
children with the
gods, right,
sun.
these gods, they gave us a bit of knowledge. They gave us fire. They gave
Oh,
us
let's
they
give
gave us
them
the idea of calculus and then math. Like, appreciate it. How
demonic.
can we ever repay you?
Well, Abraham.
I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. Tell you what we'll do. Let's kill some children.
Well,
Yeah.
Abraham, right?
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
What did God ask Abraham to do? To kill his firstborn son, which the concept is, if you want something, you need to sacrifice what's the most important to you, right? In the Old Testament, God asked, of course, he stopped him the very last minute, but in other cultures, the whole concept is you give up something that's dear to you, that's close to you, in order to ask.
They don't kill their own children. They'll take babies
What
from
else is
Haiti.
But that's humans interpreting.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
It ties. I heard everything Eugene said there. He's kind of right. Satan was a fallen angel from God. He was envious of the knowledge and power that he had, and he was cast away. And ever since that day, he's been a combatant of God, and that's why he was put into a 1,000-year pit, chained to the bottom of the pit. That's why he wasn't allowed out until the little season, which is what we're in now, which is coming up. There's a 250-year period where he's allowed to run free and do what he wants, and this is where a lot of this demonic activity is prevalent and promoted, such as killing children. The texts that we're given are not ancient scripts. There wasn't any child sacrifice that was part of God's plan. Kids are a gift, and it's the one thing that you get as a legacy. It's a way of just showing your allegiance to a cult.
Well, it's like Aztecs, right? Aztecs were killing kids, whatever. It's just like their interpretation of what they think, their gods wanted.
Every civilization up until this day, even to this very moment, kids are being killed all over the world, mate. Like your country are killing Gazan kids. It happens, and it's again, it doesn't determine what the
and vice versa, Nikos, and vice versa.
Again, maybe vice versa, but I'm seeing on the TV quite a lot of children being killed in Gaza. I'm not seeing children being killed in Israel.
I mean, I want to kill my kids sometimes, but
yeah.
That's an interesting word, isn't it? Kids. I wonder where that came from. What is a kid?
It's a goat.
Exactly. It's a baby goat.
Yeah.
I hate the word kid and kids. I always say they're not kids, they're children. You wouldn't call your children a puppy, would you, or kitten? So where does that word come from? Because it's representing the horn god, isn't it? Representations of evil, of devil.
Enough, there was actually there was a god called Pan, who was half human, half goat, and he used to he was pan. First of all, he was pansexual. Second of all, he was sort of somewhat of a devil worshipper.
Well, that's where pansexual comes from, isn't it?
Yeah,
he wasn't
exactly.
Pansexual, but that's where the word pandemic comes from.
Oh, here we go.
Pandemic.
We're really down the rabbit hole now.
Pandemon. So pandemic comes from pandemonic. So when they say, "Oh, we're in a pandemic," then you've got to realise they're actually shoving it in your face. What's going on? He was a creature of chaos as well. So there you go.
He was.
So
he was up to all sorts. He had a good time. He was the trickster, wasn't he? He used to play pranks on people.
Well, that's it. He was cursed, wasn't he?
That's right.
What
religion was he from? Was he Greek or was he Roman?
I think he was Roman, but that's where you get like the Calibos, in the old Clash of the Titans film.
Yeah.
Do you remember the goddess's son, wasn't it? He was cursed and sent to the swamps. His name was Calibos. Well, he was half human, wasn't he, and half whatever it was.
What's all that about? Why are those mythological beings always half human, half something else? And why specifically is it usually for like quadriceps or whatever? For like, why don't you get like a half human, half turtle? Why don't you get that? Why don't you get a half human, half kangaroo? Like, when you get some cool creatures, it's always like you either get mermaids or you get fucking half human, half some beast in the desert or beast in the jungle. I want to get some cool creatures. I want to get on AI.
Half man, half ball, a minotaur.
Yeah.
Minotaur, yeah.
The fallen
Exactly.
angels were breeding with human women. So the idea comes from that these gods or these fallen angels were breeding with women, and these are the offspring of them. So a lot of these stories, fables, whatever.
You mean the aliens, right, Nikos?
Aliens. That's the aliens.
Not the angels. The angels and aliens are
I'm
the
not
same
saying
thing.
it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Well,
not saying
the angels are aliens, right? Aliens came
I'm
down.
not saying it's aliens, but let me ask you this: can someone explain to me the difference between Anunnaki and Nephilim?
Oh, mate, the Nephilim. I'm glad you put it up.
Someone take it. Go on. Nephilim and
Nephilim were giants, weren't they? Nephilim was in the Bible, wasn't it? In Genesis, where it says, "In the days where the Nephilim walked the earth, they were known as the giants."
How big were we talking?
I don't know.
10 feet. I don't know. Nephilim are hybrids, right? They're children of gods and women.
And the Anunnaki?
And Anunnaki came from a different planet.
That's where the word in Star Wars, Anakin, comes from, isn't it? Anakin Skywalker, Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Imagine if Thomas Frank could sign a Minotaur for our midfield.
Yeah.
Maybe like Declan Rice, Caicedo, you're all fucked.
There's a guy.
Minotaur in our midfield. Like, is the midfielder we need? We don't need anyone else. We can just put like eight players up front, and we just got fucking Minotaur in the midfield in the centre of the park.
To answer Sean's question seriously, I think the Anunnaki are the people that have resided on the earth and they've been under the earth and what are renowned now as reptilians or whatever. But there's a guy who does a channel called Understanding Conspiracy. It's a really good channel, and he wrote a book called The Nephilim Are Clowns. And the Nephilim are represented these days as clowns in the circus, and they were, like Eugene said, tricksters. So there's a very different purpose for each of these particular races of people from their origins. But I would suggest anybody that's interested in the Nephilim subject in particular, he wrote, and I say he wrote 2 books, I think now, but he does a channel a lot on it, and he's most famous for his Nephilim Are Clown books. But he's got a really, really good channel, Understanding Conspiracy, it's called. I can't remember what the guy's name is. He's an English guy.
Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he, that guy? And that, I wonder why that's like, why we subconsciously, some people really get scared of clowns.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's like a subconscious feeling you get with clowns. But yeah, he's associated the clowns, the jesters in the circus back to Roman days. You know, when the pagan rituals would take place, these would be there to entertain the king, you know, with sacrifices and, you know, very malevolent kind of tricks, like Eugene said. So the Nephilim themselves are different to the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are the inheritors of the earth who live under the earth, whereas the Nephilims were the spawn of Satan jesters.
Have you guys heard
Anunnaki that came down
about one of the Egyptian kings that had someone come into his court and claim that he could bring an animal back to life, and he killed it, cut its throat, and he brought the animal back to life in front of the king.
Nice.
And his name was Jedi, and his name was spelled D-J-E-D-I, which is the story where George Lucas gets the Jedi from in Star Wars.
Very nice. Very interesting.
Not heard that one.
Go on the whiteboard, John. Let's go on the whiteboard.
Should we take a little pivot towards the Mandela effect? We did put it in the title.
Yeah.
I think so.
Are we having any
I want to quickly just say, because before the show started, Eugene and John were having a disagreement on the language used around whether it's a fact or not. Eugene says it's basically scientifically proven now that the Mandela effect is real. I went and asked Grok, right? And I'll tell you what Grok told me, that basically it's not scientifically proven whatsoever, and that essentially all relevant scientists are basically saying it's like almost like a kind of group amnesia or group think, that they remember things, but there's no proof of any of this shit happening. This is where I think that AI is talking a load of bollocks, because 100% I remember so many of the Mandela effect examples being different to how they are today.
Here, Sean. Pull it up, Jamie. I posted.
Pull what up? What have you done? What have you sent me?
One question.
You could get some examples up, yeah.
One question for you: does anyone know where the actual the name, the coined term Mandela effect comes from?
Yeah,
Mandela, because he was in prison.
Most
No,
people thought he died in prison, and he
right?
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual terminology comes from the fact that he had a state funeral in 1985. His widow was on TV crying, and then he actually didn't die officially until 2013. So the whole ideology between like the name, it was coined by a woman called Fiona Brew, her name was. But she actually come up with the idea because she remembers seeing it on TV in the 1980s, and then obviously he lived in prison or whatever, like for another 20 years or whatever it was. So the whole name comes from the idea that he actually died, didn't die, and then died later. So that's where the name Mandela effect comes from. If anyone's interested.
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck's happened there then? Someone just took a picture on my screen. Sounding weird.
It was me.
Yeah.
Good.
I was taking a photo of a comment because I wanted to bring it up in a little while.
Should I don't know if I play some of these. I think I might get copywritten, but fuck it, we'll do it anyway. Bollocks to it.
Do it.
We're not going to Antarctica, are we, Sean?
No, it's true. Fuck it, we're not going to Antarctica anyway. Yeah, it's too cold.
See, I'm just gonna assume I was right then. We can't get there. We can't go there. It means I was right.
We are definitely going to Antarctica at some point.
If Mossad are in there, send me, and I'll shut everybody up for you.
Oh, before let's get into hang on. This is first and foremost. This is Eugene's thing.
No, this one is blocked. But basically, the second article too says it's a proven scientific effect. So yeah, it's real researched phenomenon and is blah blah interesting take on reliability of human memory. So
yes, the Mandela effect is real research and it's interesting. Is an interesting take on the reliability of human memory. In one experiment, researchers found that there is a consistency in what people misremember, and that popularly misremembered images were selected a significantly higher proportion of the time than the original. How certain are you that your memories are correct? The Mandela effect is different than being confused or forgetting the details of something that happened. Instead, the Mandela effect is when your memories don't really match reality. Then to make it even crazier and multiply your experience into a collective memory. Yeah, so it's not saying that. So when it says it's like it's a thing, what it's not saying that it's because of CERN fucking around with wormholes and shit that's changing our timeline. It's just saying that it's proven to the point where there's enough people that have the same collective memory.
Exactly.
A lot of this ties into just company rebranding. Like I didn't throw my 2 pence in when John and Eugene were going at it with the handbags before the show started. But
cheers, mate.
I'm just saying, I'll let you do your thing. I'll let you. I'm kind of on the fence because I don't believe that it's a conspiracy. What I believe it is, I believe it's just the way that brands remarket themselves. You know, like I think over periods of time, like some good examples is like the one of the like more infamous Mandela effects that people seem to sort of argue over is like the Tinkerbell story from Disney. You know, like there's been many different changes that they've done to Tinkerbell writing the Disney sign, from putting the firmament above the castle in with her wand on one of the first ones, and she done the dot on the Disney eye for one of the later more updated ones. She also done the fireworks above the Disney castle. Also she also used to do something from the top of the castle. I think a lot of the Mandela effect is just the way the company
100% some changes, mate. 100%. But like it's one thing if the fucking if the branding's just changing, but it's when the companies come out and go, nah, it was always Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. It was always Looney Tunes, not Looney Tunes. Like it was 100% Looney Tunes with 00, right? 100% it was Looney Tunes.
100%. Do you think there's a reason though these companies do that? Is there like maybe a financial incentive so that people aren't looking for Looney Tunes as opposed to Looney Tunes? Do you think there's some sort of type of benefit these companies? Maybe it's a way of disassociating themselves with previous work, or like I don't know. But the brands like
Looney Tunes. I didn't think it was Tunes.
Mate,
Tunes.
That guy there, that guy there.
It was 100% the one on the left. 100%.
Yeah, mate. I used to have the Monopoly board from the 1980s with the guy with the monocle on it. And also Ace Ventura, in one of his Ace Ventura movies, he actually said he punched the guy in the stairs coming down from, he went to the guy's, I think like ball or party or whatever it was. And there was a guy coming down with like a really fit bird and then like a monocle on his eye. And he punched him, he knocked him out and he went, "Oh, you're the Monopoly guy." You know, like the monocle thing was like,
yeah.
People seem to think that the Monopoly board hasn't changed or rebranded or reconstructed its logos and that kind of stuff.
Pringles, this one here, is it? Hang on. Pringles definitely had Pringles had it before. Didn't have it before. Afterwards, it did. 100%. It used to be the guy without it. Doesn't make any sense. 100%. It's a load of bollocks, mate. It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. I'm not sure what they're saying is different on the guy on the right hand side here.
Is it Adam's apple? That's Shaggy, isn't it? From Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Shaggy. Yeah.
Shaggy. Darren Anderson.
Let's get out of here.
It's Darren Anderson.
Yeah. The Pikachu one there as well. The Pikachu one is
Shaggy.
Yeah, it's funny the Pikachu one you brought up there. Actually, I collect graded
Pikachu. This one here.
Yeah, I collect graded Pikachu PSA cards for my son. Like every year he's been born, I've bought him a few graded PSA cards for his collection to give to him when he's like older in life. I've got ones that have got black tails like that. I've got them. I can show you.
What they're saying that now it's yellow ones.
Yeah, now they're saying that it was only people's memory, or people seem to think because he's got black tipped ears, he had a black tail and stuff. But there were cards existed that he had a black point at the end of his tail. It's not that like wild a conspiracy, you know. It's just rebranding and updating of images, and companies like that do that all the time.
They all deny it, mate. They all deny that they changed anything.
That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. Also, as well,
and not just that, mate. But if you go back and watch Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, who's the fairest of them all? You know, in that film with Snow White, right? It was Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, right? Everyone remember Mirror, Mirror. It fucking isn't. You go and watch it now. It's Magic Mirror on the Wall.
Yeah, mate. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know why they do it. Maybe they're doing it just to piss people off, or maybe they just want to confuse people. But also another good one, a really good example is, I don't know if anyone saw the original Mickey Mouse, which was called Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
And he used to have braces on his like on
they
his
used to call me Steamboat Willie down the whorehouse on a Friday night.
No, mate, you have to lower the tone. You have to lower the tone. I'm just saying that people seem every single image of Steamboat Willie plucking his bra straps. Funny, his straps on his. Don't
lower the tone, you Nikos. Don't lower the tone.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's got his suspenders on, and there was a point where he's steering the boat and he flicked his straps and he carried on going with the boat. They may have edited that all out of all of the updated versions, and it's not available anywhere on the internet. But I know for an absolute fact, I remember, because I used to love it where you go, psh, and the bit on the straps on the chest would go. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's just updating brands, and for whatever reason they disassociate from the old image.
I don't know. It makes no sense.
Britney Spears in that video used to have a fucking like a thing, like a little microphone round her mouth.
On the face, yeah.
100% she did.
100%.
And now she doesn't. They can't just like update the video to take it out for shits and giggles. Like, that's a Mandela effect thing. She used to have a mic. I remember it. I remember it too.
I remember it vividly. I rember where I was when I used to watch the video.
I watched that video too many times.
Enough times.
You know what I mean?
Enough times.
Oh, is that about the James Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me, with the girl Dolly with her pigtails
and the braces,
and claws, you know, with the teeth? Yeah. The fucking braces are gone now, because that was part of the fun, wasn't it, of that scene? That he looked at her, she looked at him, and she smiled like that, and you see all the braces, and he went.
And that was the whole point. That was the whole point of the relationship, right? That they both like sort of could get together because they understood each other, because they both had. And then now they don't.
But you guys are conflating things. Like, you're talking about certain things that yes, they changed, but it's not like a million people say that the braces thing. You know, they remember it in a certain way. But if we look at the monopoly or everything else, I mean, that's different. I think you guys are conflating things. Like, there is no what's the upside of the monopoly people saying, oh, by the way, that's they changed something and they say that they didn't. It makes no sense. Why would they do it?
Maybe they make their items that are actually like copyrighted more valuable. I don't know. There must be some sort of type of incentive for doing it. There was another one that I come across. I sent Sean some pictures earlier on. There was a movie with Sinbad in the 1990s, and I had the VHS. I remember my parents had it, and it was called Shazam.
Oh yeah, I
And
got
mate,
it. Oh, yeah, you asked me to bring it up.
yeah.
I got it here.
If you go onto the internet right now, every single page will tell you that movie was a fake movie, never existed.
I saw it.
Is it IMDb, the movie website? It's never been watched by no one else in the world, so it doesn't exist. I had that VHS. I remember watching that movie, but 2 years later, after that one was made, there was one that come out with Shaquille O'Neal called Kazam. 2 years later, and that was 1996. So it was only 2 years after. So I think Sinbad was such a failure, they did it with Shaquille O'Neal, and just to disassociate themselves from, they just scrubbed it from the internet, scrubbed it from everywhere, bought up every VHS that was available, burnt it, and just.
I think we found the inflection point between you two, because Eugene is usually super cynical about anything that's like a little bit too weird and out there. You can't usually going for the Occam's razor. Eugene, you love to go for Occam's razor, right? And Nikos is usually like, any fucking conspiracy will do for me. Thank you very much. I'm on board anything, right? On this one, Nikos is saying, no, look, it's pretty simple, right? That it's just corporate shits and giggles. And Eugene's going, nope, 100%.
No, I'm saying it's simple. 100%. No, I'm saying it's simple. Just it's the memory. People's memories are fucked. People like, that's why like the police, right? If there's a car accident and there are 5 witnesses being questioned by police, like all of them are gonna tell you a different story about what they saw. Just human memory is fucked. So it's not a surprise that people
but like the fucking monocle was legit. Kit Kat used to have a fucking hyphen. Now it doesn't. I've eaten enough chocolate bars in my life to remember a fucking Kit Kat having a hyphen. I know what I'm talking about.
Those Kit Kats were massive as well. They was like massive.
And Britney Spears definitely had a fucking microphone, because I used to sit there and think, well, that's going to get in the way in my imaginary wank bank. You know what are we doing here?
Well, Britney Spears, I don't know. What about Mandela?
But anyway, we've got to get to a conclusion with it. I just think that the whole Mandela effect is a confusion for people trying to remember, but the companies that have produced whatever they're trying to remember, whether it be a chocolate bar or a movie or Britney Spears or whatever, I think they've just edited it away and disassociate with it, whether it's a branding issue, whether it's some sort of type of...
So you're calling bullshit on the conspiracy.
Last question. Mandela himself. What, like...
Did he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. The whole name comes from that he died in the 1980s. People remember it. They bought cuttings of the newspaper where he was announced as dead in the 1980s. There was newspaper articles about his funeral in the 1980s, but he lived until 2013. But if you was rewriting history and he was some sort of type of like plant, you wouldn't want him dead. So maybe it's some sort of type of fuck up in there. Reprogramming.
Are you saying there were articles that Mandela had died in prison?
Died, yeah, 100%. My mum remembers it. My mum remembers it.
That's the Mandela effect.
No. He was in Robben Island in 1985. He was announced as dead. There was a state funeral on TV and newspaper articles that he died in prison in Robben Island in 1985.
Now, and that might have been like a psyop, right? That might have been where the whole concept started from. But if you're telling me that the fucking monocle didn't exist on the guy from the Monopoly board, and it did exist, right? And now it doesn't. And they're saying that it never existed. And if people are telling me that all of these different Mandela effects are just corporate psyops to fuck with people's minds and say it didn't exist, but when really it did, like the Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bears, I'm saying, what's the benefit of doing that? It doesn't make any sense. There's so many of them.
I'll tell you why.
What benefit would the monopoly makers?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you one of the reasons why I think. And I remember the Berenstain Bears and Berenstain Bears. If you're Google searching it these days and you're typing in 30, people are typing 30% in one and then 70% in the other, it takes away your percentage of the target audience that you're trying to grasp, you know? So maybe they have to like if they do a rebranding of some sort, you want people staying with it.
It's not even a thing anymore. The Berenstain Bears aren't even a thing anymore. It's an old defunct product.
Yeah, but
I've never heard of them until this Mandela effect thing.
Yeah, the point is like if you make a business decision to restructure your brand, whether it be the naming, whether it be anything, the imaging of a company, the same way. So the same way that Tottenham have done it recently. Tottenham have gone away from being.
But they're not denying that they used to have the letters Tottenham Hotspur in the logo.
And they announced it. It's an announcement.
They announced it, right? I'm not saying that nobody ever rebrands their logo. That's ridiculous. Of course they do. I completely get that. I'm just saying there's so many examples of things that used to, and also like why would the people that own the James Bond franchise go back and digitally remaster the guy with the girl with the jaws to not have her teeth braced anymore? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe there's a point in history where the braces were not attractive, and there was a poll that come out where it said anyone with braces was less attractive than someone without braces, or vice versa. So they've done a business decision to remove the braces, and all of a sudden people don't see the braces.
I can't believe all the people here that are not, of all the people on this panel.
I'm the voice of reason. I'm the voice of reason for once. I'm the voice of reason for once.
I was dead set that you were going to be the guy going, yep. It's the motherfuckers at CERN that are trying to do some shit with the Higgs boson collider, and they're fucking with the history, and they're
it's more of a business. It's more of a business sort of thought.
It's not a business call at all.
It's a memory
thing. Go back 50 years to a film that was long since passed, and go, you know what we really need to do just in that one particular scene, nothing else, and none of the other movies, just that one movie. Let's just go and spend a few $1,000 to sort of digitally remaster her teeth.
Let me give you Walt Disney. Every single picture he ever took, he had a cigarette in his hand. In the 1970s and 1980s, they went back and edited out every single picture of Walt Disney with a cigarette in his hand. Right. There is pictures. There's pictures of Walt Disney holding people with two fingers like this, where he's clearly holding something that they edited out.
Right.
It's quite common that these companies go with what
why do it on one scene at the end of a 2-hour movie in one movie of a James Bond franchise when there is thousands of other movies out there with girls with braces? It's ridiculous, Nick.
I agree, it's ridiculous. But James Bond was one of the biggest brands in the world until the last 20 years ago. So maybe they just done these little tweaks when they bring out remastered, edited versions of their work, and they just decide that okay, let's just forget how it was before, and we're going to push this. This is what it is now.
How can you believe in a firmament with such affirmation?
Like what I'm saying doesn't sound crazy to me. What I'm saying doesn't sound crazy to me.
Hold on a minute though. That I can understand if that was correct, but people have got the original bloody videotapes.
That's
the VHS videotapes, and they've played them, and the fucking braces aren't there.
Yeah, the thing is like. Maybe this is one of the reasons
the braces aren't there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're not there.
So the old tapes that used to have them on now don't have them.
Yes,
so either they were never there in the first place, or something's fucking changed.
Well,
I don't know about that.
I don't know anyone who says no, she never had braces. That's bullshit. You're lying. No one ever saw braces. Everyone fucking saw it because they thought it was like a funny.
Who everyone? So that argument, John. Who's everyone? Did you ask every single person?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't got my got-in music. I haven't got the got-in music. I have to change.
Mate, it's got to be aliens then. It's got to be aliens then. I'm wrong. It's aliens. It's got to be aliens.
Eugene, if I ever see you, I'm going to give you a big titty twister and a slap round. Take that hat off your head.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. The Mandela effect is an interesting one. It's a very interesting one because it tests your memory, but also you're playing against a stacked deck with companies that potentially rebrand. So I don't think it's a conspiracy personally, but I agree that there's lots of things of brands that they take away and change that people remember, but now don't have it. And for whatever reason, the brands disassociate with that logo or emblem or James Bond braces or whatever. I don't understand.
I actually didn't say I believe it. I said that those braces were there. I didn't say the Mandela effect has done it, or I believe the Mandela effect, because there's a lot of things that I think are not right, like that cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't even remember Fruit of the Loom. What was Fruit of the Loom? Was it a cereal or was it a clothing
It was
brand?
a t-shirt company. Everyone had Fruit of the Loom t-shirts when I was a kid. Everyone had. Mate, I remember the cornucopia.
Yeah.
It was like everyone had Fruit of the Loom t-shirt. It was like one of the cheap. It was like Primark before Primark.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
But
remember.
if you still had that t-shirt, do you still have it at home?
Nah, mate. Do I fuck? I wish.
It was also Mandela effect that Spurs players are good and everybody's saying they're crap. So it's it's the same thing. It's mass psychosis.
Just so I understand then, Eugene, are you so? Sorry, we'll start with John. John, are you saying that the Mandela effect, like, do you believe? So you definitely believe that there was a before and an after that are different.
Some
right?
things, yeah, but
Some
not
things,
all of
yeah.
it. I don't
Of course,
believe
yeah, but some of them. And of the ones that were definitely before and after that are different, are you saying what are you saying is the cause of the change?
I don't know. No idea.
What do you give me something to work with here?
I haven't got a clue. Couldn't not.
Are we saying is it aliens? It's always aliens. Come on.
It's got to be aliens. Satan and aliens.
No idea.
Nikos, you're saying it's just corporate policy.
Mate, yeah, I mean, not everything's a conspiracy. I don't think this is one of the ones that's on top of my list anywhere near. It's not even on my list, to be honest. I actually have to do a bit of research.
I asked you earlier of the 200. Let's get back to that list, right?
Go on.
Where's the Mandela effect? Get before the Mandela effect came up.
Where was
Mandela effect was where was Mandela effect on here? The MK is it on the screen, by the way? It's on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mandela effect is. It's Mandela. Hang on. There we go. Number 35. Number 35. So we found one on the list. Number 35.
What was it say? What did it say? I can't see it on my screen. Mandela
effect
is CERN or time travel.
That's different, Sean. They're not questioning the Mandela effect, calling it a conspiracy. It's specific to CERN, to time traveling. So again, right? It's a different angle on it.
Yeah, I agree.
I
don't think those two are connected or correlated in any way, shape, or form.
And what are you saying? So Nikos, king conspiracy theorist Nikos, who believes everything in the conspiracy world. We found one that doesn't believe in, which is Mandela. Eugene, do you believe in the Mandela effect? But are you saying it's just global conscious mistakes in the memory?
Oh, yeah,
or are you saying that
it's Occam's razor, right? A company is not going to pay somebody to go back and change, graphics or scenes in the movie or marketing. Spend money on something that's irrelevant. Like what's done is done.
Disney did it. Disney did it. Walt Disney had a cigarette in every single picture he took. He smoked all the time. Everywhere he went, he smoked all the time. But in the 1960s, 1970s, smoking became disassociated with children. And they made a big point of campaign of disassociating smoking around children. He was caught with pictures smoking with holding children and stuff like that.
But Monopoly is different. We're talking about stuff that's like completely like nonsensical stuff. So for me personally, I just think that it shows how fickle human memory is, and it's just an example of how bad our memory is. That's all.
The point I'm making is one of the biggest brands in the world, Disney, actually went and spent a lot of money editing every single photo available of the
reason for that. I can understand the rationale to get rid of cigarettes out of it, but to remove a fucking cornucopia
or like a monocle from Monopoly, that makes
cornucopia ever do to anybody? Now, come on now.
Oh,
maybe Specsavers got a hold of Monopoly and said, "Look, mate, we're rebranding. We're selling two eyes now, not one eye. We don't want the one eye anymore. We don't want people wanting that."
By the way, the monocle wasn't only removed from the Monopoly guy; it was also removed from the Pringles guy. Don't forget. But I'm just sitting here saying, so Eugene's saying it's just down to global memory lapse. Johnny's sitting on the fence. Splinters FC, old Teflon John. He believes it's a thing, but he's not sure how. Nikos doesn't believe it's a thing at all. It's a thing, but it's nothing to see here. It's just corporate business. For once, am I the only fucking lunatic in the room? Because I believe, like Doc Martin said, once you go back and you change the timeline of reality, butterfly effect. You fart in the wrong timeline, and it can change everything. And I think that's.
I like it. It's a parallel universe. I like it.
Yeah, parallel universe.
You're taking the captain's armband of crazy. You're taking the captain's armband of crazy.
I'm
well,
on board.
Listen, do you not think time travel is possible?
Probably not.
Possible.
Do you know what we should do? We should end now. Should we go over to the? Should we do the member show for 20 minutes and talk about time travel?
Cool.
Yeah.
OnlyFans content. We're gonna
guys. OnlyFans content. Listen, I'm going to say massive
I'm
thank you
gonna
to
take my
all of you.
t-shirt and get something skimpy on.
Massive. We're going to start in 1 minute. I'll say a massive thank you to everybody, to all the channel members. You guys can come out. We're going to continue right here. I think the stream ends for the rest of you guys, but the members, we're going to talk about time travel. But we'll be back for the rest of you guys on Tuesday. I'll say a massive thank you to everyone for being here. Please like, please subscribe, and we will see you. Hang on a second. I've still got another. Hang on, 1 minute until we switch. 1 minute until we say goodbye. So I don't know how it's going to work. We might. Yeah, but
you're going to kill the stream, aren't you? You're going to kill the stream right now, aren't you?
I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out what's going on. Get excited. 1 minute until members only. You'll be redirected automatically. Appreciate everybody for coming on. And we will, be back on. I've got 35 seconds. Time travel. In about 33 seconds.
Actually, Sean, I'm on board. I forgot about that angle. I think I'm on board with the multiverse, the parallel universes thing. Yep.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Doc Emmett Brown, right? Doc Emmett Brown. He's the guy who brought it to our attention. You know, didn't end well for him. Didn't end well for his buddy. Of all the people, by the way, McFly. What happened to him?
Money McFly. Yeah.
It's now a band.
Money McFly, not so much.
It's a band, isn't he? These days.
See you on Tuesday. The rest of you. Appreciate everyone. Love you all. Bye. All right, are we in?